Okay, so whenever I talk to athletes, I instantly think about self-care. And I'm going to talk to Rex a little bit more about it when it comes to mental health and the athletic space. Those things used to be like oil and water. They did not mix, you did not talk about it, but now it's talked about freely. And I was just on a meeting yesterday, and it was a business meeting, a work meeting, and people were talking about how do you have self-care while you're still performing at work, or how do you take care of yourself while you're in the thick of it, basically. And so, I always sports explain things in a sense of make it into sports terms. And so when we were having this conversation, you can think about like these are people maybe in the sports world, and then they're like, all right, how do you find moments for yourself when there's 3 or 4 games every week? Where do you find the time for yourself? Because when there's not a game, you still have practice. And so, how do you get away? How do you check out mentally? How do you take care of yourself while you're in the thick of it? And it's tough because the easy answer is yeah, I'm going to set time aside. I'm going to do my meditations. I'm going to plan this hour for this. And anybody that knows, life happens, and you had a plan to start at 9, but then the dog did this and your daughter did this, and now you're starting at 10:30, and you can make all kinds of plans, but how do you stay locked in and actually take care of your mental health? And so some of the things that were said on the call, I thought I would just pass them along because I feel like we all get in these moments where we call it in the dog days of the season, where you're halfway through the season, or it's right before All-Star break, or it's just those moments where you just got to figure it out. You got to tough it out. So, what are ways when you're in those dog days that you can just take care of yourself, take care of your mentals? So, these are some of the suggestions that honestly professionals, executives, C-suite members were tossing around. And so, I'm going to pass them along to you because I thought that they could be helpful. And so, the first one that I thought was good, and this could be for somebody that if you're in a leadership role or if you're not in a leadership role, it's when you do have a day off, actually take the day off. I know it sounds crazy, but it's easy to have a day off and still not actually work on stuff, but be worried about the stuff that you need to work on. So you spent your whole day off thinking about all the things that you're going to have to do when you're no longer on your day off. And so then when you get back after the day off, do you even feel like you had a day off? So that's the thing. It sounds good. It sounds easy, but really find out a way to like not worry about the things that you have to do when you go back to work. Again, easier said than done. Athletes have to do it all the time where everything in your world could be breaking down, and then you just have to figure out a way to lock in. It's game time and you have to perform. So it's an athlete mentality, but you have to get that. When it's time to turn it off, it's time to turn it off. And then don't get so stuck on plans. This is something that, a high executive said, where you might have planned to leave the house at 9 to get to work early. And of course, these times aren't right. You might have planned to leave the house at 4. You wanted to get to work early. You wanted to get to work before everybody so that you could catch up on everything. And then life happened and you didn't actually leave the house until the exact normal time that you leave the house every morning. You could easily have a meltdown. Like everybody could easily be so frustrated with, dog, I wanted to get ahead. This was my chance. This was my day. The advice from a high executive was that you got to let that go. Like you can't let that make your whole day be a bad day because you started out bad. You could start out having a bad day and then you yourself can change that day. So, a way to kind of just help yourself get out of a rut is don't let one thing turn into an all day thing. That was an advice from them. You made one thing went wrong, and now at the end of the day, you had 20 things go wrong because of the first one thing that went wrong. Don't let that happen. And then the last advice, if you're in the dog days and you still got to just figure it out, is that you have vacation days or there's vacation breaks that happen. Plan something. And when I say plan something, this was something that was brought up on the call as well. You may not have the money to actually plan somewhere to go. So plan your staycation. Plan to binge watch the show that you've been meaning to watch but been too busy to watch. Plan to have all the snacks that you wanted to have that you haven't been eating because you've been trying to be good. Just plan something for yourself, because those little breaths, even if it's just a 1-2 day getaway that you plan a staycation for yourself mentally, it may help you. So we're all in our dog days. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all in our grind. Some people have 50, 11 jobs. Some people are taking care of 50, 11 people. Some people forget to take care of themselves. And so I just want everybody, these are advice from athletes, from people that are executives, and for people that are employees trying to figure it out. You got to find a way to have self care and take care of yourself, because we all got to take care of ourselves. So, having said that, now I'm going to have a conversation with Rex Chapman, who has honestly had to figure out self care at the highest level once you've hit rock bottom. But now he's done exactly that. So excited to talk to former NBA player Rex Chapman. Coming up next.